All right, I want to welcome our next guest to answer the important question, is the college admissions process fair? You know my view. Let's hear from our expert, the president of the Common Application, Jenny Rickard. Hey, Jenny.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So we all know the Common Application. Anyone who's been through college knows what that is. But, very high level, Jenny, what do you think the most common problem you see in the college admissions process?
I guess the most common problem I would see is that students have a hard time navigating it, finding institutions that they would like to go to. And the biggest issue is that low-income students, underrepresented students, students of color have a harder time navigating that process. And when I think about that, when you think about the college admissions process and when it was created, it was really designed around when students were predominantly white and predominantly male going to college. And it has not fundamentally changed during that time. And that's why we're making every effort at Common App at this moment of reckoning around race and equity in America to really work to make the process more equitable for all.
Yeah, it does make the process easier. That being said, do you think leveling the playing field is ever possible? And is it ever possible to make everybody feel like they can get into college and have the education resource they need?
So I am an optimist, and I'm an absolute believer in education really being the great equalizer and giving everybody an opportunity. So yes, I do believe we can, and it's going to take concerted and collective effort among all of us to do so, and really have an equity lens when we do that and have a student lens when we do that. And that's why we've been working to eliminate some of the questions and really reviewing some of the questions that we are concerned are creating barriers for students. We recently announced eliminating the disciplinary question because of significant disparities between low income and Black students being disproportionately more likely to be disciplined in high school than white students.
So, Jenny, what percentage of schools out there, private and public, accept the Common App today?
So we're a nonprofit membership association of more than 900 colleges and universities around the country and around the world. And over 1 million students every year use the Common App to apply to college, a third of whom are first-generation college students.
Yeah, and why do you think that's important to make the process easier? Because a lot of times it's very frustrating for a kid who is first generation that doesn't really have the resources at home. My parents both went to college, so now I knew exactly what to do. But for a first generation person, how are you trying to provide the guidance they need during that critical time?
Absolutely. We, just under 2 years ago, we joined forces with Reach Higher, which is the College Access and Success Initiative started by former First Lady Michelle Obama during her time in the White House to create a college-going culture. And we have a number of initiatives to really inspire students who might not otherwise think about going to college to do so, and to be able to connect them with resources, counseling resources, peers, and others to be able to help them get to college, get to the Common App. And once they're at the Common App, we work very hard to reduce the barriers for students who wouldn't have the counseling resources that they might otherwise have.
Yeah, Jenny, I have personally heard stories from a lot of my viewers, college students or recent grads among them, and they say they feel a degree these days is practically worthless. Their words, not mine, right? Because they just feel, oh, well, I went through college, I pile on debts, and I'm not really getting anything, really. What are the schools doing to make sure education is more accessible and useful?
Yeah, well, there are a number of different things. And first of all, I would want to say an education and higher education is absolutely the best investment a student can make in their lives. Research has shown that students who've gone to college are healthier, happier, earn more money, and thriving in more than others who don't have that opportunity. And so colleges are now, our membership, are all looking at their processes, their financial aid policies, and how they're delivering education to think about the ways that a system, as I mentioned earlier, that has been old and not looked at. Common App was founded 45 years ago. And when you look at the application 45 years ago and you look at it today, a lot of the questions are strikingly similar. And that is the kind of work that colleges are doing to understand the circumstances of students, to be able to understand when a question might be creating a barrier for them, looking at their financial aid practices, getting them information about financial aid, and really thinking about their resources so that they can make sure that they are affordable and that students will succeed. So there are a number of great examples out there across the country about institutions really realizing the need for themselves, for their own institutions, but also for our society to make this college more accessible.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for the work that you do and for joining us. We're going to have you back. So thanks again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You know how I feel about this issue, even though we both came out, we got the better end of the deal when it comes to college, but I don't think the process is intrinsically fair.